Just checking in now. I gotta go, man. Hey guys, Mandy Fraker coming at you again to talk about movies. As always, please hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share that shit. So, people always ask me, what's your channel about? Is it like movie reviews and stuff like that? And I always say, it's really hard to explain. Just check my channel out. Facts, trivia, just all kinds of things in general that I find fascinating about movies. But I don't do movie reviews. It's just not something I do. Until I woke up the other morning to this text message from my friend Adam, really fabulous guy right there, telling me in this message what he thought of The Irishman. So I figured, you know what? I'll watch the movie and maybe I'll do a review. So this is my movie review of Martin Scorsese's The Irishman on Netflix. So just to start out really quick, I always like to throw factoids in my videos when I can. They use CGI, as everybody knows by now, to age the characters throughout the decades that the story takes place in. And Al Pacino kind of went an extra mile, and what he did is, let's say he's 35 years old. Obviously he's not right now, but let's say in that point of the movie he's 35. He thinks back to how he walked, how he moved, and how he spoke when he was 35 years old, and tries to incorporate that in his performance in that particular scene. And I just thought that was really interesting. So, let's start with what I liked about the movie. Obviously, it's Scorsese, De Niro's in it, Pacino's in it, what's not to like, right? So, anyhow, here's what I liked. Scorsese did a lot of different things when he made this movie, and one of those was kind of harkening back to his past films. So there's a couple different references, I feel like, from Taxi Driver. So, right here and right there. So I like that. There's a tracking shot that's very similar to one of his movies called Casino. I'm not going to put that in here because it's kind of a pain in the ass to stop the camera, put it in, and then start filming again. So I'm not going to do that, but just watch both movies and you'll see what I'm talking about. And everybody's in this movie. I just love throwbacks. I love vintage stuff. And he's just throwing people in this movie. You got Lois Bird. This time she didn't forget her lucky hat. You got, or I guess she did. You got Leo Getz. Bitching about the drive-thru, of course, as always. You got Sport. You got Silvio. You got Eugene Pontecuervo. And last but not least, you got Tommy from Snatch. And he's got the minerals this time, and his gun does work. So, that's basically, sadly, what I liked about the movie. So, yeah, let's go to what I don't like about the movie, and that's a lot longer. So, what I didn't like. Every time I paused the movie to get up and go to the bathroom or get something to drink and looked at how long I had left, it seemed like there was another hour left. And I went up, it was a 3.5 hour movie, so I went to the bathroom, got something to drink, took a call, whatever, 5 or 10 times, and there always seemed like there was another hour left. And it was just very long. And since it's like, a relatively true story, I guess, there was some creative stuff, creative control in there, but ultimately I found the movie to be kind of boring. However, it was shot very glamorously, just like Goodfellas, just like Casino. So it was easy to watch, but it was incredibly long, and I'll never get that 3.5 hours of my life back, ever. And that 3.5 hours, that's, like, in dog years, that was like, 100 years of watching this movie. There are some scenes where De Niro shoots people, obviously, and I just didn't like the way I didn't like the way he did it. It wasn't believable. There's another scene where he's kicking and beating a man on the sidewalk outside of a grocery store who'd put his hands on his daughter, and he just looked like he was just getting out of breath, while he's beating this guy to death. And, in Goodfellas, he was like going at Billy Batts when he was kicking him and stomping him and beating him up. And it was just like, I know De Niro's old, but, come on, Bobby. So, I don't know if he did his best performance, in some of those scenes. Didn't like any of that. There's a lot of historical inaccuracies in the movie, but I mean, I'm not a history buff, so that really didn't bother me very much. It was long, and it's one of those movies. Nowadays, they make a lot of movies that are not second watchers, is what I call them. In other words, they're not really a movie you can watch a second time. You know, in the 80s and the 90s, you can watch movies over and over and over and over and over again, man. Like, I could watch Goodfellas for the rest of my life, man. You know, Three Amigos, Fletch, stuff like that. You could watch that over and over again. You can pick it up in the middle of the movie or the end of the movie, the beginning, whatever the case may be. And it just doesn't matter. And this movie is one of those movies that I'll probably never watch again. Unfortunately, maybe I'll watch it a second time, you know, maybe a few months from now, just to kind of give it a second glance, but it's definitely not my favorite Martin Scorsese movie. You know, Quentin Tarantino talks about how he wants to make 10 movies for his entire film career, and I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was either the 9th or the 10th, and, you know, Scorsese has definitely outdone himself over the years, but this movie, I mean, it was so hyped up. My friend Pete was coming up to me every other day when I would see him and, oh my god, The Irishman, are you excited? And I'm like, bro, just don't get excited. And I didn't get excited, but I still got let down. So that's my video for today. Kill the Irishman review. So as always, please hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share that shit. Have a great day, guys.